Hello kiddies, here's a review of how far we've come. We've come all the way from WA. Today we're driving from the border to a place called Ceduna, which will take us through the rest of the Nullarbor and back into civilization. Let's see how we go. Here we go, look at this. Oh, there's an ocean over there. Sign back there says we should park camp here, but I do not think anyone's paying any attention to that. 400 metres on the rest, no trucks, but a big photography sign. Let's go and have a look. And I think people are camping here even though it says you shouldn't. This is where we'll be camping. Says no trucky bucks, doesn't say no campy bampy. Whoops, it daisy. Let's have a look at that. Okay, you ready for this? Look at that ocean over there. Look at the ocean. How cool is that? Holy smoke, that's a bit of a gap. Hang on, got to get over here. Oh yeah, he's definitely camping. He's got all his bits down. Oh, look at that beach. Okay, I'll come back to you when we've got a bit closer. Hang on a sec. Alright, we just passed the WA South Australian border on the South Australian side. Way over there's quite a few other people. Look at that beautiful beach. So that was the hill we climbed up, and then there's a beach, but you have to go down a cliff to get to it, so we ain't doing that. It's cliff faces. Further on tomorrow there'll be stunning views. So we are going to camp here for the night and have a well-earned rest after a big driving day. And we will be back tomorrow when we're going to see the Great Australian Bight and the actual Nullarbor Plain, because although we're on the what they call the Nullarbor Plain, there's actually a stretch called the Nullarbor, so we'll see that tomorrow too. Right now I'm going to pay attention to where I'm walking, because the last thing we need is for me to trip over and break my ankle in the middle of the country. Till tomorrow, folks. Good morning kiddies, I've driven about 1 kilometre up the road, if that. Check out this view. Oh. That's where we can see all sorts of cool stuff. Look at the view over there. Wasn't quite the view I wanted. There's a better one coming up. But while we're here, how about we lock some cupboards that we forgot to lock when we took off? That might save us a mess when we get to the other end. And we found 3 cupboards that were not locked properly, and there was already stuff falling out, so it's a good idea that we stopped. You know, got to have these problems, because otherwise we forget them, don't we? Pay attention to the right. We should have some good pickies coming up today. What else have we got coming up today? The actual Nullarbor Plain, which kind of looks a bit like this one, to be honest, because it's not meant to be a tree and such, but I just spotted a tree, so that's that ain't. Check that out. How beautiful are those different views. Those cliffs, don't know how high they are, I think they're like 300 metres. Those waves are probably way bigger than what they seem. What an amazing view. Look at that! What a view! That, my friends, is called the Great Australian Bight. Just amazing. They fenced it off because years ago people had parked closer, and you can see by the height of those cliffs it's probably easy to fall down. Just stunning. Alright. Oh, a tree as far as I can see. Oh, this, my friends, is the Nullarbor Plain. All highway people call the Nullarbor, but this is the plain. What are these papers? A map of how we've gone. Do you think we're halfway yet? Yeah, I'm not quite sure about that. think halfway is about here. And we're going to come along down along here and go around that peninsula on the way down. I think we've got a fair way to go. Well folks, welcome to the very sandy Nullarbor station. There's obviously been some rain gone through, so we've got to try and get and have a look at it without the dog getting into all of these puddles, so we'll see how we go. This place has actually got a bit of history to it. It's one of the widest stations from memory, but yeah, it's got everything you need. It's got the pub, it's got the showers, it's got the caravan park, it's got the motel bit. It's got it all, but it's got a nice mural as you saw on the previous little clippy here. But it's also got, people started crossing the Nullarbor in 1912, which is quite some time ago. And there wasn't a lot of stops along the way, but there was this old petrol station. And this place has managed to keep it, so it's quite interesting to have a look at. Imagine working and living in this tin shed and that was where you got your petrol, because it was just a dirt road. It'd just be amazing, wouldn't it? Yeah, they're quite big as you can see, but yep, this is where you would have stopped way back when. You would have come in here and this is where you would have got your petrol in this very flash petrol station. So that wild dingo, let's get there. That wild dingo there, that truckie says he comes through once a week and he feeds her. She's just had 3 steaks. I was going to go throw her a sausage. And he just fed her 3 steaks. He said once a week he comes through and once a month he gives her a worming tablet. So he gave it to her just then. He said she had pups in November. And there's this one and another black one who feeds. But he looks after, sorry about that. So he looks after her and gives her a feed.
Wi-Fi is on.
Make sure she getting looked after. She's got a good looking coat on. Oh. Unlike Grumpy Guts over here, we can see a dog out the window who just hasn't realised how fortunate he's got it. And there we've got, look at the size of that road train. That's a biggie, isn't it? Oh, Whinger, shut up. Shh. It's a biggie, it overtakes you. Kind of petrol drops a bit.
did get cell service, I nearly died. 72 unread emails? How is that possible?